There we go. Now you hear me. Thank you for that, Joe. See, my man Joe. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I got you guys. Started just right away. Usually I go ahead and have a couple minutes to set all that up. As you see, just jump right in. Can you hear me okay now? Okay. All right. Before I dive into everything, I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. I see people are tuning in. My man K2, what's up? I see Joe, Red Ghost, Chelsea. Yes, okay. Now just give me a moment. We're going to give one more minute so to make sure everybody rolls in here. Okay. There we go. But how is everybody doing on this wonderful, wonderful Sunday? Okay. Another one. You know how we do. Let's do this, okay. Now, I see, there we go. People starting to roll in. So, we're going to go ahead, guys. If you can, you guys, I know people out here is like, hey, I got to donate. I want to show support, Nick, but you don't have to donate. If you do, it is much appreciated. I'm definitely not stopping you, and I please do. But, nonetheless, you share out the content. Just being here, tuning in with me, just supporting me is enough. All right? I appreciate that. Now, I see some other... What I'm doing is just throw a couple shares out here. That's how I do usually. So apologize for 1 second here. Let me just go through. But you guys see what I'm going to be talking about today. I just want you guys to get prepared because we definitely going to talk about it. Okay, there we go. I got a couple shares now. I think I'm good, Now, usually me, I like to throw out a couple shares in there myself. I know you guys do shares as well, but I have a couple groups that I'm known to post in. Okay, here we go. So I think we're about good now. I'm just going to go ahead and rock with it. Rock with it, rock with it, rock with it. Anyway, what is going on, everybody? I see the chat. I love having a chat up here. I do have the extra spicy big boy drink because this is going to be a nice one. And, oh my gosh, delicious. Woo! Okay, I'm just going to tell you, this is going to be a nice one here. Because I figured, we got the Xbox Series X coming. Some of you guys got your pre-orders going. PS5, whatever you rock with, okay? I'm not much of a Sony man myself, but I never, ever hate it. It's like I'm lying. I did hate on Sony a couple times. But nonetheless, I don't mind playing the Sony systems. Nothing against it. I'm just a, that's what it is with me. I just been a Microsoft fanboy. But I got asked a question, and somebody came to me. They came to me as if I'm the Yoda. The man. I'm Goku. Okay, I don't ever want to be that. Let's just put that out there. That's not me. I'm not trying to do that. But they came to me as so and said, can you answer this question? What is the best video game console to mod? So, and it was almost instant. I'm like, man, I can give you like several, but they said, no, it's stipulations to it. I want to know what is the best one. And this is the picture they painted for me. Okay. They painted the picture that they're buying this as a gift for a kid. How can you go against that? Gift for a kid. Okay, I was teared up a second. What do you need, man? They said, I want to be able to provide this child with a system that's a one-stop shop for them. Everything they want to do, things they want to look into, they want to go on depth. Maybe they want to do different things other than the system normally does. They want to go ahead and do this one system. So I had to think about that. It was deep. And I'm going to tell you why it was deep for me. Of course, I could sit here and say, oh, just get a Switch, get a Wii, get this, but just different things. He's talking about giving it to a kid. So I thought, that's a little different. It's not like you're giving it to an adult. Okay, adult maybe want to run the best of 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 the best. Kind of how I am. Okay. So for me, it was, where do I go? Now for me, okay, I had to think in depth. I said, well, if it's a kid and a system right now you can mod that could do a lot, it's almost like the Nintendo Switch is a gimme because it's portable. But that just holds yourself to these library of Switch games. And maybe, you play some retro titles, you get some cheats. It's nice. I'm not going to, definitely, it's nice. Custom themes, custom, whatever you want. It's nice. But then you got some people who, might say, hey, you could lose your Switch. You could drop it. You could crack it. It's a lot of things, a lot of risks that come with that when it involves a kid. Okay, not an adult. If it was an adult, I could say that simply. But with the kids, so I thought, and my first thought after that was Xbox 360. Now that's just me, and I'm gonna tell you why I said Xbox 360. Because with Xbox 360, okay, and this is all, off the record, guys. Okay, we're on the record, but it's off the record. Okay, if you're given this system, let's say, and this system has tons of stuff on it. You got Xbox Live Arcade, you got Xbox 360 games, you got all your homebrew, your retro games. You do got custom themes, totally custom themes. Okay, I mean, we seen what they've done in the 360 community in modding. Okay, it's a lot of good things. Then I said, well, what about the PlayStation 3? And I seen the chat there. Somebody put, I want to say that was Joe. Oh, PS3 and Switch, Red Ghost. I see you, PS3. And I thought, that's tasty. Okay. PlayStation 3 is in the same scenario with the Xbox 360 to me. Now, the thing is with PlayStation 3, this was at a time where people were playing online. 360, you couldn't. Okay, but PlayStation 3, you might be able to do a little more. I don't know. Can we argue that? That the PlayStation 3, you might be able to do a little more than Xbox 360. But this is why I'm going to say the Xbox 360. My son remembers having an Xbox 360 gifted to him, okay, with games that he rightfully owns and rightfully so, okay, loaded onto a system, and then put cheats onto it on each and every game. He knows how to activate the cheats. So if he does want to play with cheats on any game, Grand Theft Auto, amazing cheats, okay? Amazing cheats. He was just able to play all these random cheats. It's almost like Xbox 360 to me, just gifted and hand wrapped in a basket, was #1 system to mod in 2020. That was me. That was my own bias. I am a Microsoft fanboy. I used to love Sony, and then I stopped messing with Sony, okay, because I don't know. I think it was the PlayStation 3 era. I just got off, okay? That was me. I remember the whole GeoHot thing and the modding. Yeah, it was popping, but I wasn't there. I was with Microsoft, and I officially jumped from the Sony bandwagon between the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era. That was me. Now, these systems, what about the PlayStation 4? I don't hear many people scream PS4. I'm not even playing a modded PS4 system. Guys, I'm a channel that deals with almost all the game mods. How have I not played a mod on PS4? I've seen them. I mean, okay. But I haven't played it. It hasn't enticed me. But yet the Nintendo Switch drops with Team Executor. Okay, and don't get me started on Team Executor. Oh my goodness. But anyway, Team Executor, my dog. We ain't gonna go there. But with Team Executor, and I went and bought one instantly. I bought a Switch. And not only that, when all consoles became modded, all right, or at least able to be hacked, let's just say that, next thing you know, you couldn't buy one. You couldn't find it. It was sold out, here. The sales are ridiculous. So it is a nice system modded, but just in a hand wrap to give to a kid, for me, it's Xbox 360, maybe PlayStation 3. And then I had somebody say, well, what about an older system? And I had, oh man, woo, you getting me now? How old are we talking about? What are you doing? Then somebody said Nintendo Wii. You might got an argument there. Depending on the type of games or the age of this child, Nintendo Wii could be fine. A lot of those homebrew games, Nintendo Wii plays better than some systems. I can't say today, I'm gonna be honest, since today's. But, the emulation, let's just say, was wonderful for all Nintendo emulators on the Wii. Now, I'm not sure if that was just ported emulators, but they were just ran smooth on the Wii. Just nice. So if you played anything Nintendo, you probably had your favorite time on Nintendo Wii. Now, I'm a Wii U guy, okay? I'm not a Wii guy. I'm a Wii U guy. I definitely was into it hard with the Wii. But then you also got to say, hey, let's talk about the difficulty of the mod, because that might change it. Okay, if I say, Xbox 360 involves a mod chip, which involves soldering, which means paying someone to solder on a mod chip. Then they may have to load what you need to load on the hard drive and then give it to the child. A lot of work in that. Versus, oh, I got a Wii. You know what I mean? I got an SD card. Let's run it. Banner bomb. Holler at me. Okay? It's just the way it is. Wii U. Okay? Simple. So you got these systems, PlayStation 3. I remember at a time it was just very, very simple. Now, but PlayStation 3. Okay? These systems may not have been as difficult as modding the Xbox 360. Now, for me, it's not, the soldering was not that difficult. I think soldering on a mod chip for Nintendo Switch is a lot harder because it's micro soldering. It's smaller points. And you can afford mess ups on the Xbox 360. You almost can't afford a mess up on Nintendo Switch. So that's the difference in soldering between the two. But that might change it. Then also for Nintendo Switch, some people say, hey, switch right away. But you got to think, mod chip or no mod chip, those original OG consoles are rarely hanging in there. Okay, they barely hanging in there because I see people still selling them. But eventually, what's going to happen? Okay, everybody's going to own an OG. They're going to be in a, dump yard somewhere. Who knows? But what I can tell you is, if you do have a Switch and it is modded and you do know what you're doing, it is almost, I want to say, hands down, the best modded console at this time, period. I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's a debate. And the reason I state that, now, anybody that use a PlayStation 4 modded now in 2020, please go ahead and message something. Tell me, am I tripping? If you use modded systems, and just from the adult, let's get off the kid subject for a second, but just for an adult, is the Nintendo Switch the best modded console in 2020? I'm saying so. Okay. But that's because it's me. I know what I'm doing. But let's say somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Maybe they could just, hey, I'll pay somebody to get the system done, and it's a lot easier. Wii U was amazing to me, and I don't know why it just flew under the radar. I seen somebody shout out Sage. I don't know how you might pronounce it. I watch too much, anime. But nonetheless, Wii U is much better. I love the Wii U. Wii U games was wonderful. I love the whole concept of having the screen. That was beautiful. I love playing the games right on the screen. Now, this is the thing. It was the Switch before the Switch to me, because I'd be right there on the crapper, okay, playing the game. That's because I'm close enough to the console to play it. Okay? That's me. But I got the Switch now. I don't even need it. That's kind of thing. I got the Switch. I don't need it. I'm not playing the Wii U. I'm not playing the Wii. Since I've had a modded console as a Nintendo Switch that was modded, I haven't had the need to play any other modded console. That's me. Okay. Wii U is better if you use CBHC. Yes, I definitely had mine's cold booted. That's the only way. I will agree with you. Okay? Like, you need to be able to start your system and bam, you right there. Your menu pops up, boop, boop. You get what you know what I mean? Lovely. It was so, oh my goodness, man. Good times, man. Y'all almost bringing me to tears with this one, man, because I'm just thinking. But in 2020, if we get back to this kid, I give him an Xbox 360, and I got all the games with all the cheats, all the Xbox Live Arcade. And you guys remember Xbox Live Arcade. There was a lot of smash hits in there. Okay? You can have that fully loaded. Then you got the custom dashboards where you got different sections that says Xbox Live Arcade, Xbox 360, homebrew, movies, audio. You got your music playing in the background. You got your cheats. You can cut them on or off. You can, oh my goodness, and don't get me started with if you want to play on Xbox Live Arcade, or Xbox Live Backdoor. I believe Call of Duty, I'm not sure if they still host that, but I know at one point you could pay to actually get online and then still use your cheats. You got modded lobbies. Remember that time? Oh my gosh. I remember these kids just dying to, please, I want a 99. Please give me a 99 maxed out. Oh my gosh. It was just crazy. And people were charging people in Microsoft points. I'm literally listening to it while I'm playing. They're making sales, and I'm seeing them cheat, and they're like, hey, I can go ahead and get you this, give me $20 worth of Microsoft points. Here, come in my lobby. Now, me, I'm like, nah, because I'm serious on my Call of Duty. People who know who I am with Call of Duty, I am serious. I am a fanboy. I would never cheat in a game that I love. That's me. I stay hard on that. Okay, if I love the game, if I love it enough, I'm not going to cheat. Advantage, different. Cheat? No. And what I mean by advantage is if I got some thumbsticks that might help me move, that's an advantage. Okay. But if I'm using aimbot, that is cheating. Okay. Just so I clarify that for everyone. Okay. But I see somebody, the old original. Now let's talk about that old original Xbox, man. Who out there had one of those old original Xboxes that were modded? Yo, was that system not the most, I ain't gonna say the easiest console to hack, because I think Dreamcast held that down. Hell, you could just go to clone DVD, put your Dreamcast game in and hit copy and put it back in and it worked. I think that was the worst, just no protection. But other than that, I will say the original Xbox, it could be modded from the video game cartridge. It can be modded from one of the memory cards. You can just open it up. Swap out the hard drive. How many damn ways was it to just mod that system? It was so bad that when I first started modding Xbox 360s, I never forget, this dude, Geeb. Geeb, wherever you at. Shout out to you. I know Geeb would probably never think, I'm here. You know what I'm saying right now? But this dude named Geeb, okay, spoke with Geeb daily. Geeb was like my mentor. He was telling me what tools I needed, how to do it. Now, this is at a time that you had to rely on, forums or IRC. Okay. So definitely IRC for me. All right. Geeb was the man. Told me everything. And when I got down to it, he told me to watch a video that was like 30 minutes for the Xbox 360 security. Now, first thing I thought, hell, we modded the system. What the hell do we care about the security? That's the first thing I thought. This dude's just asking me to watch a video. I don't care. Okay. I watched the video. Now, I'm glad I watched the video. When I first heard about e-fuses, what the hell is an e-fuse? Now I know more about electronic fuses. Okay. And when you start to know what levels of security they put into the system, like they almost patched up every single way that you can mod the original Xbox. Did they not? They did a pretty damn good job. Even though you got the glitch going, I think they did a pretty damn good job versus like Nintendo. They having a rough time. Team Executor, and we could say Atmosphere, okay, Team Atmos. And just for the record, anybody, I don't know Team Executor's website's still down, but I've been hearing a lot about that. So everybody out there who's using Team Executor, SXOS products, shout out to you, man. I hope we can make it through this, man. Rough times, it's hard, man. We just trying. We trying to hold out for you, man. It's hard. But Mario Kart Live, remember we was talking about big updates coming. Are we going to get the update from Team Executor? I don't even want to look at the website. I was going to type it in, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to waste my time because I'm going to type it in. I'm going to be like, oh, they're down. SX, they're down. Maybe they just getting down all the time. They're trying to dodge the feds or something. I don't know. I don't want to put that. Allegedly. Let's just say allegedly. I want to do everything allegedly. I haven't taken a sip of the extra spicy in about a couple minutes. So, And I've seen a couple calls there, guys. I'm going to get you in. I just have to go through this real quick. Okay. Now, for the record, my number one moddable console, if you have to give to someone of 2020, Xbox 360. And you can ask a couple people. I had an Xbox 360. Outside case modded. You press the button and had the lights, the gas mask, okay? Different things going on. You could do everything on there. Custom, okay? Everything custom. When you start it up and played a video of my kids, okay? And it swapped videos. It can play any video. You don't know what's coming on. I love that. Okay, different sounds starting up. It didn't go ding. I changed everything. Lights, everything. Then the system played different. If I put that system in an arcade cabinet and told you it was a Jacapo 36,000, you would believe me. I don't know what the hell a Jacapo is, but if I told you that, you would believe me. That's how custom it is. And I love taking systems and be able to have it completely different to the point where I cut it on, you don't know what the hell it is, okay? So that's for me. But if I had to say this person was an adult, for me, the Nintendo Switch has almost everything you could use or need in a modded console. We do have a more expansive list of games for Nintendo Switch. It's not like the Wii and Wii U where they were just touching the boundaries of these games. Okay, I remember when I first seen Mad World on the Wii, I was like, whoa, Nintendo, when did you start doing that? I couldn't even get the damn blood code out of you. I was ABACABB. Get over here on Sega Genesis every damn night. And I couldn't even get a blood code. I was uppercutting people with no blood. It was terrible. Terrible. Okay. Bad times for Nintendo. But everybody else loved the games, including me. I played them. I was playing games like Saturday Night Slam Masters, while I'm over here, got all the blood and guts and everything with Sega. Wonderful gaming times, by the way, for all my retro gamers. You guys don't understand. That was the time. That was the prime. Okay, where you actually had, what was it? I can't remember the name of it, but didn't Sega Genesis have like a dial-up service for games? You know what I mean? I might be off, but I remember they had a dial-up service for games. It was like GameFly of 95. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was just like, oh, okay, you dial in and it pulls up different games. But the thing about it, and everybody told me the problem, it would have like 9 games, and then you would go to pick a game, and then all of a sudden, the game's gone. You thought you were going to beat it the next day. They upload new games. Okay, so definitely good time. I see, yes, it did. It was it. That's up top. I don't remember. I've never had it, but I just remember hearing one of my buddies had it and how it was and what he didn't like about it. So that was something. I think about this. I wasn't grown at that time, but if my dad came to me with a system and it had a floppy drive on the system and it played tons of games, I wouldn't even ask questions. I would just be like, this is the best system. My dad's the best dad in the world. So a lot of you, younger guys, you got the dads out there who are into modded consoles. Why don't you ask your dad what's the best console of 2020? Because that would be a good question. He'd probably have a list. He'd probably tell you, son, I remember when I modded that first PlayStation, I slid that Game Genie in the slot. You're just like, well, Dad, didn't you have a Game Genie back in Nintendo? Yeah, but, that was different, And he's right, because, back then, Game Genie was normal. I believe when the PlayStation era came, they were actually trying to ban Game Genie's action replays, data, something, I forgot the names of them, but they were all different cheat devices that you would use, and it would change a system. Like, to me, I think that was the beauty of Game Genie, too. They had video game enhancer. Yo, I'm going to just put that in. This is a podcast enhancer. It's not an actual podcast. It's an enhancer, okay? It gets you ready for the real podcast, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, that's very crazy to me. Like that these cheat devices were just simply allowed. And then next thing you know, they slowly start pulling them and pulling them away. And then we resort to mods like we have today. We resort to having companies like Nintendo swiping down anybody who has put up any content in, relation to Team Executor. Anything. It doesn't matter. And right now, the Team Executor website was down. Okay. I remember GeoHot. I had people talk about GeoHot. I came towards the end of that. Remember, I told you guys I switched. You know what I mean? But I was still there around that era. And I could tell you that PS3 era was hot. I wasn't into posting videos, but I do remember my first YouTube post ever, and I don't even know this channel. What's the channel? I believe it's a different channel. But I actually put up Grand Theft Auto 4, I want to say it was, when it first came out on the 360, and I had it like a month or two early because it had leaked. And that wasn't the only game I had leaked. I remember Gears of War. I'm not sure if it was 3 or 2, but one of them, they leaked, and I had it like 6 months before. This was wonderful times, man. I mean, you pretty much had your own super dev kit in the 360, man. It was lovely. Okay, so I'm playing Gears of War, and people are like, yo, how you got this already? I'm like, shh, don't say nothing. And, you might see a little green box pop up. They didn't finish it. It wasn't finished. You've seen a lot of different cutscenes look crappy, I'll admit. But the game was intact. All the game was there. Okay, so wonderful stuff. Now, I see calls coming. I had a couple calls. I'm getting in right at the 30 mark. I'm trying to break it down, just so you guys know. What I've been doing is trying to break it down. I got to do an hour. And I know people say, do the 2 hours, Nick, do the 3 hours. But what's going to happen is if I do the hour, I'm going to do more episodes. If I do longer, I do shorter or less episodes. Reason for that is I'm only posting so much through the podcast website. I got tons of episodes and they all getting downloaded. So thank you guys for that. Okay, but I can only put up so much at a time without just paying a crazy amount of money. I'm not getting crazy amounts of money, okay? But I just want to go ahead and let you guys know I'm trying to go ahead and break it down in time. So I'm trying to get a little schedule going, okay? I'm going to take calls around the 30-minute mark. That way I can give you guys time, have you guys talk. We'll go ahead and go through that. But I see Corey P, modded PS3. Let's go through some of the chat. K2, My man, okay, IRC, most PS dev kits were PCs. Talk to them nice. Yo, they don't know about that IRC, okay? I never was a fan of how hard 360 modding was. Truthfully, I think if you were one to make it through modding 360s for other people, okay, which means soldering on the mod chip, doing the glitches, you probably fine-tune your soldering pretty damn good. Okay, that's how I learned, because I told you about my first mod. I don't know, some people know, you probably, some guys will tune in, but I got an episode talking about, you know, the whole history of me with modding. But my first ever modded console that had to involve a mod chip was an S-Box mod chip, and it was from one point to another, just one wire. I spent almost a day, 2 days. This is no soldering experience at all, no flux, no, just nothing. I was just going in, just putting this wire on there, hoping it melts on this point. I wind up burning the hell out of myself. So terrible. I remember, I'm glad I don't got the scar still, but it was just one of those things where I said, man, I'm not doing this. I cut on the system and it worked. And I remember playing Time Splitters 2. Like I just burned it out. Said, whoo, Time Splitters 2. Hey, Vita modding is crazy hard. Yo, and let's shout out to Sony too. As much as I hate on Sony, I got to give it up for the handhelds. I remember having a PSP modded. PSP was nasty. I left them out. I shouldn't have did that. Okay, PSP was nasty. You was playing games like Tekken on the road before Switch. Okay, so let me go ahead and put some respect on Sony's name. That's my bad for that. I need to put some respect on their name. Then the Vita came along. Okay, I need to stop. You right. I'm sorry. Who was that? My man PK? You right. My bad, PK. Young OG had to bust me out right there, man. SD to Vita. Oh, come on. Okay, Vita definitely is a whew, y'all threw me out. Why y'all had to bring that up, man? I didn't even think about that one. I gotta take a sip on that one. Holy man. Woo. Yo, y'all threw me for a loop on that one. I'm not gonna lie. The PlayStation and the PlayStation 2, and then the upgrades to these portable consoles. This is at a time. Now, I'm a god. I played the old school consoles. So I played Atari Lynx. I played Game Gear. Game Boy. There was another one. Neo Geo Pocket. Okay, I played these handhelds, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, I'm kind of biased. I'll be honest with the Nintendo Switch. What I will say though is I remember having a PSP years ago, and somebody saying, "Yo, I'm so mad that I lost my remote for my TV." And I said, let me see if I got a programmable code here in this app. And I was able to control the TV with the PSP. Oh, it was a defining moment for me. Like, yo, this system just came through in the clutch. How? You know, so I knew that Sony, I'm going to put some respect to your name. Vita, PSP, definitely some top dog. It might be one of the top three if you giving it to somebody, a kid or something. Hey, we could talk now. Because, see, if you drop one of those, they still going for a nice. They ain't that cheap. Okay, I'm going to just say that. Where the cheapest place to get you. Oh, congrats. Oh, okay. It said congratulations. I got 100. You know, I'm going to be reading that. But I used to troll Best Buy with that. Yo, imagine how many people walked into a Best Buy with a PSP and just started changing channels. It was great times, man. PSP. Now, the Vita, it was like just the PSP times 2. It had everything, man. It was beautiful. Okay, the Switch came along and totally made me drop it. I don't look at it no more. I don't even turn back. And that's me. And I'm also my blood hate for Sony. And if you guys don't know, I've been a Sony lover for many years. But when you switch the bandwagon, you got to pick a side. And I picked my side in Microsoft. I said, Microsoft, you're going to hold me down with everything. If it was my other dude, man, Stone, you know who you are, man. That man walked around with a Windows phone for years. He did it proudly. Now, I didn't go that far. Okay, I didn't do that. I ain't doing that. But I will say, my man walked around with a Windows phone for years. Shout out to you, Stone, for that. That is Microsoft love right there. If Microsoft, you know what? Microsoft, make me a sponsor right now. You're going to see what's going to happen. How about that? Because Sony don't want this. They don't want this smoke. Nintendo, I represent. I'm not doing that to Nintendo. You know, we got some beef. We had problems. Mario, y'all know, and a lot of people don't know. But I'm just saying, Mario comes over from here to there. He come over, we kick it. But every time we kick it, if Mario gets out of hand, he can hit the door. I ain't got no problem with that, sir. But just believe that's when my videos start coming down. They don't like me talking about mod chips, apparently. But so somebody, my man, say, do you ever think we'll get a break on the Xbox One? Yo, this is the word I'm hearing. I don't know. Somebody can back me up, my people, MoFam. That's why y'all here. Okay. But I've heard it's been modded. It's just not public release. Is that true? I've heard the Xbox One has been modded, just not public release. I don't know how true that is, but I think why we don't see so much from the Xbox One as far as modding, I think Microsoft was smart in making the developer mode part of, just, hey, you can go right to the store, enable developer mode. Bingo. You know what I mean? You're good to go at that point. Now, I know we got calls coming in. I got to take this. Now, Team X has something for Xbox One. Now, I hope. Let me go ahead. I'm knocking stuff all over the place here. Let me get my headset straight before I take this, because I love to take calls from you guys at all times. This is the favorite part right here, to hear what you guys got to say. Let me get my headset straight. I hope my headset, I was about to say, if my headset dead, that would be messed up. But I had it on the charger. So let's pull this down. Okay, let me get it going. I hear. Hold up. Who is this? All right. Now, I think I got you on. I'm hoping everything good. I didn't set everything up, but who do I have on the line right now?
This is Tom Dilts Jr. from Team Executor Enterprises. How may I help you?
Tom Dilts! Oh, what is going on? You such a fool. This is my man, y'all. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad you called in, man. And it's talking about these modded consoles. I'm glad you brought up Tom Dilts. You know what I mean? Because I just want you to know that Team Executor website down again. Okay.
Here's the thing. I need to throw two pieces of facts at you real quick.
Let's throw it. Throw it at me. We need to hear it. Talk spicy.
I don't think you've been checking your server. And from an announcement in the thing I'm about to mention, there might be a certain person who might know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I should be very specific, but when it comes to the Team Executor website, there is a way to check the server status. If you go into your server, just scroll up. There's going to be a message from a little person. Their name starts with Al and ends with Kami Gaming, and they have a little post in there. I think it'll be quite obvious once you see it, and just interact with that post, and yeah. I can get into more detail later, but according to that post that was made by them in a different area.
Okay.
They don't really want it being too public that this thing exists, and so I'm going to kind of be a bit cryptic about it.
Okay, I like that.
For
our own safety. You know what I mean? Our own safety. Yeah. I feel it. I can feel it. I hear it in your voice. Okay, I definitely hear it. So, man, dropping the bomb. So, now you're right.
I got a second bomb, though.
Oh, man, bring it to us.
So, I think this also might have been Mr. Al Kami Gaming. Who said this, I don't remember, but apparently the reason why the Xbox One hasn't really been cracked is because when it comes to homebrew, right, the developer mode, that does fine for homebrew, and that's already kind of, you can do that fairly legitimately, and due to the way that Microsoft set up the DRM on their consoles, you can't pirate on the Xbox One, period. So there's really no incentive to really hack it. So
that's what I'm talking about. And you know what? I'm glad that you said that, because one of the things I mentioned earlier is speaking about the original Xbox and how that was just a hackable mess. And then the security and how much they stopped in the Xbox 360, even though it's modded. People don't understand how secure that system really was. And now to have an Xbox One where I'm hearing from you, hey, it ain't happening, partner. Just get over it.
And I mean, there might be a thing where you could put a mod chip in and run Linux or something, or run Windows on it or whatever. But the idea of a true mod chip, I just can't see that happening because there's no real incentive for it. Homebrew can be done legitimately. Piracy is impossible. The only thing you'd really be unlocking is either running a completely different OS entirely or dashboard themes, which I think you can even do that. I haven't used my Xbox in forever, though. So
yeah, me either. But man, nice bomb shit. I'm glad you put that out there because, I've been hearing a lot of talk about them. People say, oh, it's not released publicly and this is why. But I can see that, especially with, no announcements, no news, no nothing. It's not even an inch, a leak of anything, any information. It's just, why doesn't it happen? So, no, I agree with you there. So, let me ask you, since we got everybody on the hook right now, let's say, hold up, and see, the Xbox One backups. Joe, you're funny for that. So what is your number one console? If you had to say 2020 and I had to, I could load the system up with whatever I want to load it up with. Space is not an issue. Okay. What would be your number one console if you had to present to a group of people and say, this is why you mod consoles? What would be your number one?
The Wii. And here's why.
Talk.
There's any other console I could think of. As far as I'm aware, you are able to easily download for them. Anything GameCube, Xbox, PS2 era, and before, you can, you don't really need to mod it because it's all disc games. You can go on eBay. If you have a pretty penny to spend for, some of the more rare games, you can usually always buy a game for them. Sure. The Wii U, Xbox One, and PS4 era and later, you can buy them for a regular or cheaper price, no matter really what the game is.
Sure.
But the Wii, Xbox 360, and PS3 era is much stranger because the PS3, as far as I'm aware, has a very, 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 very slow sort of homebrew scene. And the Xbox 360 has a very difficult homebrew scene. You need to know your soldering, or you need to have a connection. You need to know how to get a chip. The Wii is extremely easy, and it has the benefit, well, maybe not the benefit, but I guess the sort of here's why you would do it, WiiWare. Some amazing things on WiiWare, you can't access them anymore. And I know that I saw Sage Mackenzie in the chat say Wii U. Yes and no. Quite frankly, I think the Wii U seems kind of empty. There's nothing really crazy for it. Cold Blue actually kind of came out, and then that was really it. Nothing else happened after that. That was it. And the Wii menu is also much more limited. You can't install BootMe for brick protection, preloader. You can't do theme. Well, I think you can do themes, but you have to get very specific themes. No native GameCube support, none of that stuff. And so I think it's, the Wii has the most incentive in general, but also it's so easy. I would probably put Xbox 360 in a close second place, though, because if you do know what you're doing, there's so much you can do with a modded 360. And also, from what I've seen, the process, again, if you know what you're doing, is very fun, from what I've heard. So
it is.
I'd put that as a close second.
All right, now I like that. That was nice. Now, to my man Sage McKenzie said the Wii. What do you say about the Wii, the other side of the Wii U? I don't know.
Well,
do you think it's pretty much, hey, if you're going to run that, you might as well just get a Wii? Is that what I'm hearing you say pretty much?
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I would just say that they're different, because a Wii, you can't really do too much to it in excess of caution, because on a regular Wii, you don't even need something crazy like BootMe. You just need a preloader. You might not even need a preloader. I've heard that there's hardware ways to fix your Wii if you mess something up. I don't think that exists on the Wii U. And you can brick a Wii menu as simple as installing a WAD with a slightly malformed banner. It's that easy to brick a Wii. You can't install preloader or anything like that on a Wii. So while, yes, if you're willing to take the risk and possibly trash a Wii, you could mod a Wii basically the same you would as a Wii, but you are still missing out on a few things like themes, like that physical GameCube support, and just, you lose a bit of comfort of being able to just do whatever, and if it bricks, whatever, grab your name back up.
Yeah, you killed it with the WiiWare, man. I haven't heard that in so long. Oh man, and I will say WiiWare very underrated. And you're right. And maybe I said. So what do you say about Nintendo Switch? You got Wii at number 1, then you got Xbox 360 the close second. I'm with you with Xbox 360. If you know what you're doing, the amount of stuff that you can do is amazing. But what would Nintendo Switch? Would Nintendo Switch automatically be 3, 4? What? Where do you put it?
5. Number 3 being original Xbox, and number 4 being PS2. Now, you know me. I'm still pretty young. I was never there for the Xbox PS2 days, but here's the one thing that puts Xbox and PS2 over the Switch. Guitar Hero. I've got so much nostalgia with that game.
Oh my god!
I've got so much nostalgia with that game that alone makes it a better. And also, right, you've got things like now the Xbox, the original Xbox. I would definitely say PS2. It's really easy, so that might be what puts it over. Like, it's almost on the level of Switch easy.
Yeah.
But I think with all controversy and all the weirdness going on in the Switch scene right now, it's kind of put it at a temporary 5. Maybe it would go up to a 4, maybe even a 3, if PX would get the shit together, to put it bluntly. But
no, I'm with you on
Xbox,
that, man.
right? You got the, and you gotta kind of have a lot of money to get one, but you need an X3 chip, and that you can do so much cool stuff with on an Xbox.
You sure can.
PS2, you got frame ability. You even got that thing where you can patch an ISO with that exploit, where you just don't even need a mod chip at all. You just grab go to your local store, buy a spindle of discs, 50 discs for $30-$40, and there you go. You got a big library of games.
And I will say PS2, I was one that I think I was running free McBoot, had a hard drive inside of it. I had the fat one. Okay, so I was able to stuff a hard drive up in it, have all the games loaded, did have cheats. I'm not even mad at your list, man. Your list is kind of solid. I would say I'm not mad at it. Now, I'm one, like I said, I'm biased with Switch, but you're right. There was a time where the scene was flourishing. You seen every day. It was just something new, this and that, another. But now it's really slowed down, and it's not even as much to talk about. It's just like, hey, it's another game, here's this.
Yeah, well, and the problem right now is that we're so stagnated between, if I went out to the store right now and bought literally any console from before the 8th generation, I would have some way to mod it. Even the 360, which was, really weird. I think with the exception of the 360E, I think was the specific one you couldn't mod. If I get pretty much any 360, any PS3, any Wii, anything before that, I can mod it. Right now, you need to check, and even if you do check, you might realize that it's something that is way beyond your skill level. And even if it is your skill level, good luck getting your hands on both the chip and the documentation, because you can't even get that now.
Yes, you're right. All gone. Okay, so. My man, Death Specimen, I got the other calls coming in. You know how I do. But, yo, my man, you rocked it as always. Any last words you got to say to the people before I let you out?
Real quick on that whole, that little thing from the Mr. Alec Cummy. According to their little land of treats, SXOS portal is offline, main page and forum is offline, and SXOS activation is offline. So, checking in the area in which normal people say their words to a other group of people, everyone's just kind of memeing, and I don't think anyone really cares. So that makes me believe that it's probably coming back at some point. Although someone did put a meme picture that just says this website has been seized by the Federal Bureau of Investigation as pursuant to a search warrant. So maybe look out for that.
Oh, man. My man, Dead Specimen, dropping the bombs. I'ma holler at you later, my dude.
Have a good day, man.
Later. Oh man, that's my man there. Who I got on next? Nick Moses 05 podcast. Who do I have on now?
Hey, what's up? It's Joe.
Big OG Joe is in the house. The representer, the original. Joe, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. Quick question. Something was happening when I was calling in. Like, it kept dropping. Do I have to always press the key when I call in from now on?
You know what, man? I don't know. It's funny. Some people say they call, they don't have to press a key. When I tested the system out, it made me press a key every time. Now, that's just me. I don't know if it's like that. I don't know what the hell I'm paying for. I'm just paying for it. It's like, do you want a phone number? Yes, I pay it. So I haven't looked into it, but I'm glad you mentioned that. That's something I might look into because I don't know. But nonetheless, okay, Joe, glad to have you here on this wonderful Sunday. You hear we doing all the modded talk. You got my man Dead Specimen, and you know how he gets down. So he came on and definitely said his systems of why he thinks is a top rated. Now, he mentioned some things at the beginning. So I want to go ahead and just speak on one of the things he was speaking about, which is Team Executor. So, Joe, as a Team Executor representative, you've been there since, man, I can't tell you how, since the beginning. And we both were repping.
2018, baby.
Man, we were repping, okay? Just 100%. When you had atmosphere, yeah, I had atmosphere, but I was, Team Executor. I was writing them like, hey, let me know, we down. And now we got this going on. So do you think that what Dead Specimen say is true is that being that this Team Executor stuff is happening, the Nintendo Switch scene is not as robust and amazing as it once was?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like going underneath the underneath like a down low, and they're just gonna. I think they will release like new updates and stuff, but it's gonna be kind of like we might wait a really long time to see them if someone else is releasing them. Let's say that guy Alchemy has something. Maybe he'll give it out. Maybe he won't. Maybe it's going to be in the community for an update. Then they're going to say, okay, someone has to release this. Who's going to take the heat in case they get caught releasing the file?
Yeah, exactly. And Alchemy Gaming, I know you be tuning in, man. Alchemy Gaming is one that has been watching my content for a long time. So Alchemy, holla at me. It ain't got to be on public wax if you want to. If you want to talk to me on the side. Now, I haven't been checking my server, so I heard. So that might be my bad. But Alchemy, holler at me. Okay, so now, with that out the way, Joe, I know you're one. We've talked about modding systems for years. The wonderful day. I seen you just put in the chat not that long ago, Swap Magic. Man, do I remember the Swap Magic. Great days. So, for you, what would be your number one modded console? If you could have everything you want with it, space is not, an option, doesn't matter. You could pick any system, fully loaded with everything you could dream of. What is your number one modded console of 2020?
I would say the PS3.
Okay, so Joe, out of all the systems, why do you say the PS3?
I would say the PS3 because you could load the hard drive up with a bunch of games, and also if you take doesn't matter if it's a fat PS3 or a slim PS3. If you take a PS1 game and you burn it directly, or you use Clone CD to clone the image and you burn it, you don't need to patch the ISO or anything. You could throw it in there and actually play a burnt game right off the disc. You don't need to do anything special with it. PS3 is great, definitely for a gift for, like you were saying about for a kid, because you can load up the hard drive with a bunch of games and a bunch of cheats. The only thing that I really, really wish I would have gotten for the Xbox 360 was an X key. I can't get it. I got it back in the day because I really needed that.
Oh, you brought it back with the X key, man. Oh, I took it back. And you know what? I'm not even mad at you for PlayStation 3. I had a PlayStation 3 modded. Wonderful system. I loved it. I was able to play online still. And that was a big thing for me. It's like not having to worry about, being banned. And, things came later, but at the time. Okay, it was just,
but here's the deal. For me, the longest system that didn't get banned and still hasn't been banned was the Xbox 360. PS3 got banned in maybe 2 months. The Switch got banned. 360 did not get banned.
And you know what, Joe? You're right on that. I'm glad that you said that, because that is one, I will admit. And ABGX, shout out. Okay, but 360 is one that if you had just your DVD drive, modded, you were fine. But I think that also falls to the fault of Microsoft with the crappy systems that they designed with the 60% fail rate when they originally came out. So you couldn't really argue that I want to fix my system. Like, you got broke stuff, and now I want to fix it. So, but PS3, Joe, you hit me on that. So,
yeah. Now here's something else you could do with the PS3. Let's say, it's like with mine. My Blu-ray drive in my PS3 is half broken. What that means is it can only play DVDs and CDs. It cannot play Blu-rays. Now that has a built-in emulator where I can actually have my games and it thinks the disc's in the drive when it's not. That's what's great about the emulator.
Okay.
It's built into Multiman.
Multi-Man, shout out. Oh, man, love that app, man. I remember the first time I was like, oh, I get to see these wonderful, beautiful pictures of my games. Oh, this is beautiful.
I think a German guy named Deacon or Dean, I can't pronounce the guy's name, he was the creator, then he kind of disappeared.
Oh, man, shout out. And, if he's out there, he's watching, shout out to him. Now, couple things. One, Joshua Drake, I didn't miss you. I ain't forget about you. I seen what you put up there. He said, the 2DS and the 3DS, why are they not getting the love? What do you think about those systems as far as modding? I don't know if you had either of those consoles modded, but can you speak on those, Joe? Do you have any knowledge of those systems and what they're capable of?
Oh, yeah. Modded? I have them modded. I have the I believe it's a 3DS XL. That has a CFW in it. Then I think it was from Stargate. I actually bought a flash cart that's made by Team Executor, We'll go through all that nonsense. That worked out great. You can use it on any firmware. That flash cart cannot be patched out on any firmware. However they did that cart is like magic. That's what I love about Team Executor. I wish I knew that they made these products back in the day. All my handhelds are hacked. PSP, PS Vita, Switch, obviously, the Lite. All that stuff. They're great,
Nah, and I'm with you on that. And the portable systems, I was sleeping on a lot of them. I didn't mention PSP or the Vita. Now the 3DS, 2DS. So yeah, you're right. I was slipping on a lot of them, and I will say they all definitely great. But for me, I said Xbox 360. It seems like all of us are towards the same thing. We're all not saying the Switch. Nintendo Switch is number one. Why do you think?
Oh, definitely. Number one, you can play all the newest games. For instance, with the PS4, you can't. You can only play games up to 6.67. Right now, the version's 8.0. I'm sure it's packed in private, but you can't play any new games. So the Switch is taking, the main core to playing all the newest, hottest games.
Talk to him. Now, for me, I can tell you, and I told my brother, I said the one thing I love to do in my system, I love to take control. So I want to cut my system on. I remember the original Xbox. Shout out to Microsoft for putting this in the actual system, okay? But you could play your music in the background. Now, that was a thing that back in the day, a lot of people, it was underrated. I think like you had PlayStation. If your Ridge Racer disc came out, you could put in a music disc and play music in the background. When we first got that, it was amazing. You just see people playing the game with their favorite music in the background. Now it's like no system wants to have the responsibility of, hey, people are playing, these copyrighted songs, recording their stream on and we make it able for them to do that. So I want to say that I'm kind of with you on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era. But what about, I'm going to ask you, as far as the situation in modding it? Because we had Dead Specimen say, hey, you can get a Wii, and you could just, get you an SD card, and you're done.
Oh, I definitely agree with Dead Specimen. This is the hardest part about modding the Wii. You ready for it?
What's that?
It's finding an SD card that's under 2 gigabytes. That's the hardest part about modding it, because everything's so gigantic.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny about that? I remember going through that trouble of finding a SD card under 2 gigabytes. Now, no lie, I probably have right on my desk now. I probably have like 4 of them, just because you never know. You know what I mean? You never know. I just feel like I might run into something where they say, hey, the limit is this, and I can't do anything with it. So you're right. That probably is the most difficult part of modding the Wii. But the rest of it's simple. Just drop it on your SD card, pop it in.
Yeah, the Wii is super fun to hack. I found one in a thrift store for $6. I bought it just to hack it. I had nothing to do that day. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy this. I totally fell out of the Wii hacking scenes. I don't know what any of the new mods are out there. Like, let me hack this. That was pretty cool.
Now
super easy to do.
Now for me, in this list, I put Dreamcast high up there. Now the reason I do is because, I don't know as far as homebrew. I haven't even ran homebrew on the Dreamcast. I can spread
the knowledge on it if you want me to. I know.
Let's drop it. Drop the knowledge to everyone on the Dreamcast. I know about copying the disc, no copyright protection, playing the games. I know you could throw 3 games on one disc. Okay, I remember that. But has there been anything else that maybe we all missing?
Yeah, I'll try to sum it up quickly. There's a lot of information. When the game was pressed in the factory, they were called GD-ROM discs. Imagine a CD, but bigger. It could fit 1.2 gigabytes on the disc. This is how they used to dump them back in the day. They would take the 56K modem adapter. They'd plug it into the computer, run special software. It would dump the game. It would take over 2 hours to dump the game. Then they had to manually patch it. As soon as they found the vulnerability, Windows and Windows and Dreamcast worked together to make the operating system. They found a back door in the operating system. Underneath your system, there's a number 1 that's circled, or a number 2 that's circled, or a number 0, which is a really, really rare variancy of the system.
Okay.
Most systems that were shipped was a version 1. If you have a version 1 system, you could just burn a regular old disk, pop it in, it self-boots. If you can't do that, you have to use a boot disk called Utopia. Then you just do a swap trick. Really easy, simple to burn. The newest hack for the Dreamcast is called a GDMU. All you do is you take out your optical drive. You put the board into the cable, ribbon slot. You put a micro card in there, and you can play all the games you want. In England, he's from the UK, I think. He's the one who actually developed it. Then what happened was they were selling for about $800 a piece. Really, really expensive. The Chinese found out about it, cloned it. You could buy it for $60 now.
Damn. Oh,
yeah, I have a clone board. But here's the deal. What's funny in the clone boards is if you take his update and you update your clone board, it will brick. So you can't update it. You have to leave the board where it's at.
Damn, you dropped some knowledge there. Now, you're right. Then I had a version 1. I do remember getting the system right when it came out. I remember having, now this is at a time where, remind you, I was into modding. So I already knew about, clone DVD, any DVD, all these different DVD cloning softwares. I had, CDR burners, rewritables, all that. And I would burn the disc.
DVD shrink.
Oh, man, DVD shrink. Oh, my gosh. Those were the days, man. And I remember having those and just saying, hey, I'm going to just try this. Let's just see. Copy. And you just hit copy, and it just literally copied the disc. Put it in, and it worked. I would say that is probably the worst failure of copyright protection in the history of video games. But that makes sense. Like you said, they found a vulnerability. They patched it. So if you're not able to do it, you can still have another way to do it. Just, takes a little more involved.
Yeah, now here's the deal with Sega CD and Neo Geo CD, they didn't copy protect their games. So you could burn them a special way and you could play them, they're self-booting. Now with the Sega Saturn, you need a mod chip or you need to swap trick to get that to work, because that's when CD burners came more localized and normalized. Back in the day, you wanted to buy a CD burner when Sega CD came out, you're looking at about $1,000.
Yeah, you're right. Those were the days. And I remember, and this is for all the young kids out there, I bought my first CD burner for $200, and I want to say it was maybe in 96. You know what I mean? For $200 just to burn CDs. And I could imagine the price further beyond that, but just ridiculous. And now it's funny because people don't even want to use a CD. We don't even want to use a cartridge. We just want to be able to have it all digitally.
I don't know if you read my comment or not. I actually had it, but I didn't get to try it because I really wasn't that smart back in the day when I was little. Sega Genesis made a Mortal Kombat controller for finishing moves. You put a cartridge in there, You just push one button and you can do a finishing move.
See, man, and
My dad got it for me back in the day at Bookman's when I used to live in Arizona. It was a used video game bookstore. But if you wanted to unlock the characters, you have to buy these different carts. I don't think anybody's talking about that. That's like super, super old school stuff.
Okay. And Shane, my man Shane, I see Shane out there. Purchase your first PS1 for $900. Shane, you got to be joking, Shane. I'm not even gonna read that, Shane. You didn't buy that PS1 for $900, Shane. But I do remember PlayStation 1. I remember it first coming out. I do remember the Nintendo 64 fight. But since we have these systems, we got all these different systems, all great mods. You mentioned the system one time, and I want to go on this. Sega Saturn. Now, why isn't Sega Saturn? I do know that Sega Saturn kind of the same fate as Dreamcast. Okay, didn't succeed well over on this side. Okay, but why do you think that we don't hear anything as far as, modding or getting Sega Saturn games? Even though I remember Sega Saturn having Knights, which is something that carries on still to this day. The Horde. I do remember playing Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, fighting Vipers. I can go on. A lot of great titles. Why is that not talked about?
To do Sega Saturn modding, you could do two mods. You could do a mod chip mod, or these gentlemen in the UK actually released a board. I forget the name of the company. It's a universal ODE board. You could either use it in the Dreamcast or you could use it in the Saturn. You can hook up an SD or an HD, or even an SSD. Figure that out. It's about $300. To do the Sega Saturn modding is very expensive. And also, they didn't make that many great games in the United States. Most of the Japan market, they made a lot of great anime RPGs, regular RPGs. And it was mostly more in the Japan region. Sega Saturn flops here miserably. I mean, that's a great system. I love it. Playing Dion there, playing Myth.
Oh, man, you took it back, man. Oh, classic title. Now, I want to say first shout out, my daughter. I see that. Hey, Dad, I love when the family comes in there. I see my mom-in-law. I get a lot of people who just come through show love. Lick Sang in China. Oh, my God, Shane, you taking it back with that. Super UFO from Bung for the Super Nintendo. Now, so we get, Joe, what you say. Would your number one just automatically be Nintendo Switch, hands down? Or would you say, if you give me anything I want, I would choose PlayStation 3 modded? What would you say for someone that's saying, hey, I want to get a system for somebody, I'm a fully loaded, should I get them a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation 3?
I would say get them a Nintendo Switch. The reason why is it has to be the Nintendo Switch, the original one. You could put it in the dock mode, you could play it on the TV. There's a lot of great homebrew games for it, and you could play it on the go. It's great for someone brand new to the modding scenes to do that. The PS3 is kind of it's not more tricky to do. It's just, I look at the systems as, stepping blocks, but we're going backwards. Get a Switch, get a PS3, get a 360. Those are harder to mod because you with the probing the drives and the mod chips. Yeah. PS2, soldering the wires. You got to go backwards because that's where it gets harder.
Yeah, you're right. You're preaching right now. So, Joe, I got some other calls I got to let in. OG Joe, I love giving you time, man. You always dropping knowledge and killing it. Any last words you got to say before I let you go?
Like and subscribe to Nick Moses 05, and keep up the hacking scenes, everybody, and see you next time.
Man, appreciate it, man. Joe, as always, take it easy, my man.
All right, bye.
Nick Moses 05 podcast. I have my man on the line. He don't even have to talk.
I can hear you this time.
You can hear me. It's perfect. We ain't got no interruptions going on. Tell the people who I'm speaking with right now.
This is Kyle. You've seen me type in chat not that long ago. On YouTube, not on Facebook or Twitch.
So, Kyle, now, this is one of the young OGs for everybody that don't know. So I need to get your mind on this because I got everybody talking about what they think is the best modded system of 2020. What would you say, Kyle, for your young mind right now? You got so much out there for you. What would you say as far as, hey, this is my number one system of 2020? Talk to us.
So out of what I've actually had experience with, I've never had experience with the the Xbox 360 or anything. I wanted to, but then I decided I didn't really want to get my console banned, and I said I'll just buy a new one someday to do it too. In terms of easeability, I would probably go with a Wii or Wii U or a 3DS,
Okay.
as they're all about the same easeability level. You can do lots of stuff with them still. I do think that the Wii U is superior if you have one, but if you don't have a Wii U, then just buy it.
Now,
But
let's
if you
say
already
why
have
do you think it's superior? Talk more on that, just so people understand.
Yeah, you know how that you can only have 2 GB SD card?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not a problem with the Wii U.
Okay, absolutely, man. It is one of the. I can tell you, he's right. Joe said the hardest problem is finding a SD card 2 gigabytes or under. It is actually a problem. Now, at one point, it was just. It was great.
I've seen gigabyte cards recently, but they were like $30 for a 2 GB SD card, and it was like in this store. Okay, by recently I mean like a year ago, but
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, you
when I
got
was
me
trying
with that
to,
one, man.
hack a Wii.
Oh my goodness, I remember that, man. And I remember just going into like a pawn shop and seeing a Wii, and I would see the price tag on and think, what the hell? I could sell this for so much more. It was just, this system was so underrated. People do not understand the simplicity in modding it, what you can do with it. We heard about WiiWare. Dead Specimen talked about WiiWare. So it's just so much things. So man, we got Wii as pretty much damn near being number one across the board. So let me say, besides Wii, what else do you got? Is there any other ones?
So I do like the PS3 in modding. It's also pretty easy. It's harder than the Wii or other things, but it's got so much more you can do with the PS3 than you can with the Wii because
Okay.
there's more people who are working with it. Actually, I'm not sure if that's true anymore, but
Yeah, I'm not
anyways.
sure. I haven't been around, the PlayStation 3 scene, Xbox 360, none of the scenes. Once I got in the Switch scene, I was in it. I kind of just got blind to everything else. But what do you know as far as these other scenes? Is any of them as good as the Wii? Even the Switch?
I think that the Switch is probably better than the Wii. Now, I know that's a lot, but it probably is, but it's a lot more risky to get into than it is to get into a Wii.
Okay.
You can, I know that a lot of people would just be like, let's just not make a NAND backup because it takes too long and completely ignore everything that's said and just go right in.
Yo, and you know what? I'm glad you said that, man. For everybody that tunes in right now, even listening, because I have a lot of listeners on the podcast. So if you do mod Nintendo Switch, do me a favor. Do not skip the step of making a NAND backup. It is not even skippable. It's a step. Okay, it's a step you must do every time. Okay, I don't care if you make several backups. I don't want to hear how long it takes. Okay, my laptop just went off. Sound came on out of anywhere when I was saying that, so I know I'm preaching right now. So Kyle, besides that system, let me ask: we got those Nintendo Switch out there. Were you into any other? Now you're younger, so I don't know if you were into like PlayStation 2 modding or other. But what was the?
I've never gone into anything older than the Wii.
Okay, and I figured that. I wouldn't expect you to, but it's nice to hear where you started. Now, me, like I said, I was using Game Genies back on Nintendo, and it was amazing for us to have Mario get hit by a Goomba and he doesn't turn small. He's like, oh, that's a cool cheat. Oh, but for you, that wouldn't be enough, and I would understand why.
I love the Game Genie.
Oh man, talk to him, man. So
the NES that I have is one that I found in a shed that was sitting in a flooded shed for like 5 years. I have gotten it to somewhat work.
Yo, the NES, man, you do not understand. It was the first system that literally should have had a title on it saying "Beat Me." Okay, it wanted to be beat. It was the only system I know. If you blew into a Nintendo cartridge and hit it, it possibly worked. And I don't understand that. Any other system you hit, you damaging it. This was the one system. If you gave it a couple whacks, it was good. I don't understand. So I'm glad that you got to experience what we went through. It was a very nostalgic moment because we beat the hell out these systems and they still work. I've seen people trip over the cord, knock the system over, bam, boom, boom, hits all type of stuff, pick it back up, and the game just cuts right back on and starts working. So shout out to Nintendo for that. But Kyle, I'm glad to get you on now. There was something mentioned. I want to talk about Dead Specimen. You know my man Dead Specimen always coming on, dropping these haymakers. Okay, he talked about with Team Executor, and he talked about this owl. Then he said Kimmy Gaming, and we know who he's talking about. Okay, so what do you think about the Switch scene right now, Kyle? What have you felt? Do you think we're coming to a halt and we're just going to slow all the way down, you know, because of this mess that's going on with TX? Or do you think
there is
go ahead,
no way that TX will completely screw everybody over? Atmosphere is open source. It's on GitHub. It's not taken off of GitHub yet. I doubt it will be. I'm sure it will be continue to be developed constantly. Even if by not the original developers. Since it's open source, somebody could just take it and make it their own.
Talk to them. Okay. And I feel you on that. I'm one that, you know, no matter what happens with the scene, I do feel like in the end, we will all be happy. But this is one of those bumps. Now, I don't know, Kyle, not for me. I haven't been in a modding scene when one of these bumps happen. I've had where updates happen, you don't get an update for a while. But this is the first time where I've really seen a company like Nintendo headstrong try to cut off any head that grows from Team Executor. Have you ever seen that with any other game system or modding whatsoever?
I mean, I haven't really. I guess not the same. I've been banned on my PS3, but that's just that will happen. That's just getting banned. The Switch scene is just. I don't know. I've never seen it before. I've never heard of things like this before.
Yo, and me either, man. I've never heard it. It's just, yo, and think about it. I'm going to just put you in my seat for a second, Kyle. So I want you to get to know my old ass. I want you to feel how it feels to be me, okay? So I'm sitting here. I get messages from all over, different people saying, yo, what's going on with TX, man? I heard somebody got arrested. I'm going, what? Somebody got arrested? Okay, I go look. Oh, somebody got arrested. I'm just going to put a post. But TX, we good. You know, then I'm getting word from other people. These people saying, hey, you better watch out. I don't think they're coming back. Somebody else saying, oh, you know, we got conspiracy theorists, Dead Specimen, throwing out all types of things. Now I got people who were coming out at first who were saying, yo, it's this. Now they're saying, yo, it might be what Dead Specimen was talking about. Yo, it has gotten so crazy. I have never seen a modding scene like that. Now, forget toxic, okay? Forget crazy. It's just we don't know what's going to happen next.
It's just anarchy out there.
I will agree. So, in your opinion, Kyle, for all the Nintendo Switch modders out there, what do you think is going to happen next for them?
I mean, I'm sure Team Executor will stay open. They might not be the same name. Okay. They might not be the same people. You might need to buy it again under a different name, under a different license. But there will be something. There will always be something.
I love that. That's the way I feel, too. I feel like you're right. It might come back as a different name. Might be something else. Hell, hopefully, you know, they can message me directly. Okay, and I can know the scoop. But nonetheless, Kyle, my man, as I always love to have you on, my young OG, for those who don't know, Kyle is the one that hooks up the way. Yo, I don't know how you such a damn genius at your age, man. So let me give a kudos to you. Kyle is in high school. I don't know. Do you do online classes, Kyle?
I am doing online classes right now. I've never done it before.
Okay. Do kids at your school look at you like you're a geek or a nerd?
You don't really get looked at in online school or talked to at all by anybody other than your teachers. So yeah, it's pretty antisocial.
Oh, Kyle, you my man. Hey, well, I don't give a damn what they say, man. You part of MoFam. We need the brains. Okay, I want folks who got a mind and a mouth of their own. So, any last words, Kyle? I got a couple other calls I got to take. Any last words before I let you go?
Subscribe to Nick Foes until 5. Like the stream. Like the podcast. Leave a review on the podcast so you get one of those Steam games.
My man, and you know what? That's what I'm talking about. My man. Okay, I'm gonna just hit you up on the Discord. I already got you. Okay, so my man, Kyle, holla at you, my man. Now, who we got on next? I don't know. We taking a round robin. I got a bunch of calls. Nick Moses 05 podcast. Who do we have on? Oh, they left. They was there. I got to keep rolling. With it. I had them on. I lost them. But Nick Moses 05 podcast. Who do I have on now?
Hey, this is Becoming Undone.
Oh, man. What is going on with you, my man? How are you doing? Introduce yourself to the people.
This is Becoming Undone. I got a couple of things. You talking about, the different consoles, or I guess handhelds that you're messing with, and what should be the number one for 2020, right?
Talk to them.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have to go by, age groups, since I'm like old as Christmas and stuff.
I'm right with you, man. We halfway to death, man.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, depending on age groups, I'm going to say Switch number one for the older groups, because, you got your Switch. You can go for the most current stuff like we've been discussing. Mm-hmm. You can also go retro with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want for the kiddos, I'm going to say, hey, as the price range with it, I would go to 2DS, 3DS for the kiddos. And if you want to throw something a little bit older, maybe go for that the Xbox 360, PS3, something like that. Some of the hand-me-downs, I guess you could say.
Yep.
If you want to get it like that.
Okay.
Go into that. Even if you want to hack into the what was that? The PS Mini and the NES Mini and all that crap. If you want to do that.
Okay.
If you go do something like that, you might as well go into computer emulation.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. I think I'm with you on that computer emulation. So let's say, as far as the number one, you got Nintendo Switch. So
I'm gonna go Switch. Because it can go all ages, but I'm gonna go for the older ages. I'm gonna go probably 16 and up there. And little kiddos, go 2DS, 3DS, and the XLs and stuff like that. That's the way I see it on that.
Nice. And I will agree, man. That's a nice system, especially for the type of games. You don't have to get these hardcore Mortal Kombats and Call of Duties. They want to play Nintendogs and, all that cute little lovable stuff. No, I'm with you on that. I definitely could say it varies in age groups. Now, for, like you said, you're old. I'm with you up there, man. 37 years old, feeling lovely. But I'm up there, so it's so many consoles I have seen, different mods and different things. So for you, what was your number one system outside of Nintendo Switch? Because I agree. I think Nintendo Switch does offer the best of both worlds. It gives us our newest games. It also gives us the old retro games that we could do in between. But if you had to say, hey, all in one, which means, loading on your cheats, the difficulty updates, everything, price range, for you, if you had no game system and you had to get a modded game system right now, fully loaded, it can be any choice of your own, would you still go with the Nintendo Switch, or would you possibly choose something else?
Man, I'd have to say Switch, just because this is me, and it may be just me, but I am a Legend of Zelda freak. I've been Legend of Zelda since the Nintendo and Zelda Part 2, because it was so freaking hard, and I love a challenge. And I know there's some Halo freaks out there, and there's, these franchisees, on with the God of War for PlayStation, this and that. Sure. But I have to say, that's I don't know how many people are out there, but that's the reason I mainly bought the Switch, was for Zelda.
Talk. And I will say this. I'm one that, and I'm glad you said that, because I want to speak on how I feel about Nintendo Switch. It was hard for me. Hard. Now, I said my number one is Xbox 360, but it was hard because all I think about is I don't play my Xbox 360 anymore. I don't pick it up. I don't even cut it on to see if it still works. But I'm constantly playing my Nintendo Switch. So, Nick, how could you pick the Xbox 360 over Nintendo Switch when you're constantly playing the Nintendo Switch currently today? But I'm also basing my experience off of all the additional things I could do with it outside of the games. But I will agree, a mod chip is a lot harder. Okay, so I agree, if you could just nice and easy get you a little jig, and you could pop something in the USB-C slot, okay, and you could just load that puppy up. That is beautiful. I will definitely say Nintendo Switch all day. If you got to do modding and you have to choose between the two, that would be my choice. But I love the love for that you got for Switch, so I know you represent them. Let me ask, I believe, if I'm correct, you definitely represent Team Executor, correct?
Oh yeah, man. Because I'm gonna be honest, when I found out about them, I had to wait like 2 weeks because they had like a back order. It was like, I think their second order of the jigs and the dongle, and I paid, I think it was $49 at the time for it, and I was so excited. And I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit on the fence. I'm like, this better work because I'm putting some hard-earned cash into it, you know. And I wasn't, you know, none of the beta testers or nothing like that. So I'm like, you know, because I kind of got into the thing with the 2DS, like I told y'all in the past. And I was like, you know, hey, I don't want to be ripped again by Nintendo because they didn't have a lot of demos to kind of do with the Final Fantasy thing. Because I was like, Final Fantasy, you know, they ought to go by name. I kind of got a Final Fantasy game that was a Monster Hunter reskin. And no hate against Monster Hunter. I like the Monster Hunter games, but it was a Final Fantasy skin on a Monster Hunter game. And I was like, man, I couldn't believe that. So I kind of got a little bit twisted up in that, and feelings kind of hurt. Cause I was like, you know, hey, I'm paying $50 for this. I want a Final Fantasy game. You know, so that's where I kind of got into the modding scene outside of the PlayStation, the PSP. And so, you know, with that, that's, you know, what kind of got me into it. You know,
I totally feel your pain on that, man. I've been there with you where you get that game and you buy that game and then you like, okay, it's brand new. It's $50, $60. You know, let me see if it's worth it. And I'm gonna give you an example. I got a buddy, and he definitely tunes in. He got Anthem. I'll never forget. He bragged about the game Anthem when it's coming out. He said, yo, Anthem's dropping. You better jump on this. You better jump on it. I said, nah, man. You know, I'm going to just play my Call of Duty year to year. That's all I do, man. That's the one. Even though I'm a fanboy of it, I'm going to just play my Call of Duty. Anthem drops. He telling me every day I see him, yo, this game is cold. Oh, my goodness. Now, Anthem sells for probably $2 damn. Okay, so it shows you that how people will hype certain stuff up, and then it winds up how it really turns out for that. But I will agree with you. You're pretty much hitting all to it, man. And I'm one that Nintendo Switch was hard to fight against. I picked Xbox 360, and mainly it's because the learning experience I went through. I learned how to solder. You know, I learned more about mod chips, reading diagrams, and wire gate. You know, different. Yeah, it was just so amazing to me. So for me, the size wires and things like that was amazing to me. And now it's like, you're right. You get this nice little dongle and this thing that just pops in your Switch and booyah. You know what I mean? It's beautiful, man. Yeah. And you're right. I was part of the first batch of that pre-order. I do remember, thirsty. I did videos showing my system. I was like, look, y'all, I'm about to get it. Look at my brand new system I bought. I was thirsty. I got it. It worked. And I've been doing videos ever since. So definitely I'm not mad at you. So besides Nintendo Switch, what would be your 2 and 3?
I have to say PlayStation 3 because I have been working with that. You know, you got Multi-Man, you got there's Cobra. There's quite a few little things you can mess with. You can go from the hard drive. I mean, external drive, stuff like that. I mean, you really ain't got to do too much. I work with some computers, so I can pull some hard drives out of laptops and stuff like that and use some little cables and stuff like that and basically make an external drive to go with it. So, I mean, PlayStation 2 would be in the top 5. I have to say handhelds, 2DS, 3DS, because that was very plain and simple with Luma custom firmware. I really didn't even have to buy a game. They recommended at that. And then to round out the top 5, the PSP, because I did buy like for, I think it was $30, that Magic memory stick and the battery thing that they had combo at one time, which I waited about 2 years into that lifespan to get that. And man, that was like just so sweet to kind of get those PSP games and the Final Fantasy on the go, that Final Fantasy 7. And I know some people are kind of torn on that between the best game ever and kind of garbage and this and that, you know. it's kind of between that, but that's kind of in my top 5.
I'm glad you
everybody has
said
their
that.
opinions on
Now that you mentioned that, I'm gonna go ahead and put you on record. We got you on wax. Final Fantasy VII, to you, is it one of the greatest games of all times for you?
I'm going to say it's in my top 10. I'm not going to put it number 1 because you never know what can come up and displace it. It definitely had a spot in my heart because it did turn me on to the JRPGs and turn-based role-playing games because I have played a number of role-playing games since then, but it definitely turned me on to them. I'm not going to say it's number 1, but it does bring back a lot of nostalgia, and, the summons in there were sweet for the time, but, we've come a long way with graphics and stuff like that, but I'm going to tell you, the storytelling at that was tops.
Wow, that story was killer.
Listen, you can bring up other games at that time frame. Legend of Legaia. You can bring up Legend of Dragoon. There's some games that for the PlayStation 1 that really brought up some stuff. As OGs, that we know. There's some games from way back that really could do this Sudoku series. Chrono Cross. There's some games back on the Super Nintendo system, man. But
I was gonna say, Super Nintendo, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. We could go Super Mario RPG.
Hey, that was the underrated one, Super Mario RPG. That really had a good story and some gameplay for turn-based. That's one that's underrated right there. There's some right there. But you look at a lot of those, Square Enix as a company, way back in the day, really took it over with the storytelling. Nowadays, yes, they have been kind of lacking. And I don't know what the deal is with that, but maybe they just need to kind of throw everything in the trash can and start
all over. I'm with you on that.
That's another subject.
It's
but
something
getting back
going
to
on.
Team Executor, I'm definitely going to represent because they brought a product that really changed the game up. And I don't know where they're going to go from here. I'm not going to claim to know where they're going to go from here. But like any good hacker, sometimes you got to lay low. You definitely don't want to bring the limelight on you too much because, as older generation, we used to, when we were younger, we used to get out party. We used to go out there, throw the hands up, and want the limelight on ourselves. Like you said, you started a thing. You wanted to show off what you had on an executor dongle and everything. You wanted to show it off and all that. You got a couple of strikes there. You're like, hey, let me lay low a little bit. And that's what these guys are going to do. Now, whether they rebrand, who knows? That's going to be another story right there. But I think, in what I'm thinking, with everything going on, I would not be surprised if they go into the Discord type of thing. Because you know what? With all this going on, it does not seem like Discord has been hit as hard as anything else that's been out there on the websites and the limelight. Because I've gotten games off of like websites, and I don't know if you've ever used like Dark Umbra before for XDI.
Dark Umbra, classic.
I like using X. And I'm not trying to like put Dark Umbra under because they've already been under. They already shut down with all those, Hunters had to get me a sip there real quick, but they went under because they got shut down with a lot of those. Like I used to use Emu Paradise. Emu Paradise, they wiped all their Nintendo games out from NES to Super NES, 64, all that. When all this crap went down and people getting sued, they took everything out. They were even considering PlayStation ROMs, every single type of ROM they could think of that might be getting a possibility because Nintendo was getting hyped. They thought they were going to take everything out. So, I'd even contributed to some of this stuff. I'm not going to lie. I did the PSP to PlayStation ROM stuff. I was kind of do it on my computer, I'd upload one or two here. I'm kind of game because I don't want to be one that's leeching and saying, "Oh, I want to download this. I want to download." I want to contribute a little bit,
Exactly.
not to be greedy.
I totally feel you on that. Yeah. And you hit two, and I say PlayStation 2 was a big one for me because I do remember having a hard drive connected. I remember putting the games in and just hitting a button, boop, up, rip the game directly to your hard drive. That was beautiful. You know what I mean? And it was the first of its kind at the time. And then it kind of followed. We got other people to say, oh, you could do it with this one. You could do it with that. But you're right. For me, PlayStation 2 was kind of the first for that. PlayStation 3, another one. Nice. I loved playing the homebrew on there. It seemed like a lot of the MAME seemed to work a little better on the PlayStation 3 for me. Okay, there were certain things that ran better on the Xbox 360, but it varied. But nonetheless, I think you spot on with the 3DS, 2DS for the younger kids. I think that's spot on because I know how the kids are. So, man, I want to say you're pretty much killing them. Now, as always, becoming unknown, my man. I got another call coming in, but you've been killing it. So I want to give you a moment right now. Go ahead and talk to the people. Anything you got to say before I let you go, my man.
Well, it's always MoFam. We always go and represent Nick Moses, but I want you to touch on one last thing. Do you think Team Executor go lay low, or you think they might go to the Discord scene? Because like I said, all those websites, they've gone down, but Discord, as you know, they have not gone down. So that is a possibility.
You know what? I don't even want to doubt you on that. I think that a possible rebranding is coming. That's just me. I don't got any insight on that. This is definitely allegedly. But I'm thinking that the Team Executor name, if you literally put it in a video, it's probably being watched. If you put it somewhere, it's probably being watched. So I don't blame them if they have to do a rebranding, a different website, different name, kind of start the ball all over again. I don't mind it, but I think you're right. Discords, I've still seen a lot of those shops still up. So who knows? But my man, as always, and we about the oldest we got on here. I think 37, you the big 4. Oh, I ain't forgot. Okay, I think we got Joe on here. Yeah, I don't forget.
I'll ask you twice.
So when I need the wisdom, I'm coming to you. But my man, take it easy. Enjoy your day.
Good night.
Nick Moses 05 podcast. Who do I have on the line?
Oh my God, you finally got Rainey on the line.
Rainey, what is going on, my man?
Well, nothing much. I mean, pretty sucky day. My 360 just red ring.
I seen that in the chat, man. You said your 360 just red ring. Now, did it give you any signs of life? Like it came on and then it just red ring while it was on? Or did it just nope, red ring from the beginning?
No, so basically, I'm sitting here during the podcast. I'm like, hold up. I want to play some Black Ops on my other monitor. So I turn on my 360. And I'm like, I'm turning it on. And it's just not turning on. I have a white light mod. And okay. I'm like, oh shit. and then the lights start flashing.
Oh man. And I'm not gonna lie, that feeling you got, we all have felt. I think everybody has felt it. When you cut on the 360 and see those red rings, it is a hurtful feeling. And it's even worse now. Back in the day, at least you was like, hey, I can go buy a used one for GameStop, Now it's like those systems just become less and less and less, around. I know GameStop still sell them refurbished, but I remember last time I bought one, the GameStop employee came to me. He said, look, man, you don't want to buy this. I was like, why? I want to buy it. He was like, no, man, they have a 60% fail rate. Yours is going to red ring. So he tried to get me not to buy it. I still bought it, of course, and modded it. But nonetheless, they tried to get you not to buy these systems. So I'm sorry to hear that. Everybody can give condolences to PK's Xbox 360. Many of them have died in war, so you do not have to feel bad. So now that we got that out the way, PK is being one of the youngest on the channel. A lot of people probably do not understand the level of knowledge you have for your age. So let me ask you, for the systems, all systems, any system you can mod in 2020, what is your number one system to mod?
My computer.
Oh!
It's technically a console, and you can mod it, so it's my computer.
Okay, so computer. And you know what? I'm not mad at you. I was going to go ahead and talk smack just because, everybody else said video game console. But let me just say this for PCs. And this is for all my guys. I got a buddy, man. He's a PC lover. And we had this fight all the time. Keyboard and mouse versus controller. And I tell him I don't care. My controller game skills will always beat keyboard and mouse. And I know it sounds ridiculous when you play with a mouse and you move and you're playing shooting games. You almost think, how the hell could somebody beat me with a controller? But I'm here to tell you, video game consoles are reaching the point. So, PK, what if I told you, if I wanted to play a real good game in multiple games, I would rather buy a video game console versus a PC. What do you have to say to that person?
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm glad you said fair enough, because my thing was, as I told my buddy, now I did build my PC. I spent a lot of money on different components. Yes. Okay. And I feel kind of bad when I start talking about it. But I will say my video game system, which I got an Xbox Series X coming, and when it gets here, that will be 500 smackaroos just going on the system. But you know what? I should be able to play games for years to come. Now, if you had $500 right now, PK, would you be able to build a system powerful enough to play the same games that I would be able to play?
Easy. I mean, I built a $100 PC that kicks the Xbox One's ass.
Oh, PK, no, you didn't. $100, man. Now, we got to talk. $100. So, how, first of all, were these parts purchased or given to you? A little bit of both?
No, they were all purchased.
Oh, my gosh. $100 killing the Xbox. So, let me ask. Was a graphics card included in that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you killing them. You hurting me. Okay, so what makes you think that it kicks the Xbox ass? Why? How? With $100? How is that possible, PK? Talk to me.
So, I bought a 1070 a little bit ago, and it sadly got lost in the mail. I have since replaced it with a 1080, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
So basically, one day I was like, you know what? I finally got my refund. I'm gonna build a new computer. So I go on the eBays, and I'm looking up parts, and I find a GTX 960 for like $20. And I'm like,
hold up, a GTX 960 for $20
yep.
on the eBays, as you like to say.
Yes.
Now, my man Joshua Drake said, PK, you're lying. What do you have to say to that, PK? For anybody that said, you ain't building no damn computer for $100 that's going to be as strong as a system, talk to him.
Benchmarks.
So, what you pretty much saying is everybody's going out there looking for, the name brand, it's got to be this, I don't want this and nothing else, when really all they got to worry about is how it runs.
Yep.
You talking to him right now. I don't know. Now, I do understand. But you're right. I don't think they understand. And that might be a little deep for them. Okay, but you are right. It's about benchmarks. Okay, but nonetheless, you young OG. Okay, you young OG. So I think you got time to still enhance those skills. But we got those who could say, hey, for $500, you cannot build a system better than mine. So what you saying, PK, is $500, you will blow the Xbox Series X out the water.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll kick its ass.
Oh,
I mean, I pounded the Xbox One's ass into the ground. Like, I just beat the shit out of it. So I don't see why that's not possible.
PK, okay, so PK, you say, now I'm a video game console lover. I just heard you say you're going to tear them down. So what I'm thinking is that for $500, you're going to go on the eBays and you'll get a system that not only will it be a great system, it'll also do 4K. It'll be running SSD. It'll be running everything the same way. Is that what you telling me?
Yep.
Yo, you the G, man. I can't even argue with that. You the young OG. And I know, just based on your age and the knowledge you have, I won't even disagree with you. Okay? Now, the question is, will it run the games as good as the Xbox Series X?
Better.
Oh, better. So you telling me you can get better monitors, everything. It's just going to be a way better experience. Now,
Yep.
you know what? To the chat, anybody else got something to dispute with that? So, my man PK is saying for dollar, if you get a video game console versus
Roast
a PC.
me right now. I have a better parts list.
Oh my goodness, talk to him nasty. Okay, because I'm wondering, and one thing I thought is, hey, if I take this computer part here, and I take this part inside of the system, what's the price tag on it? Does it come out to the same? So that is a thought. That's something to talk about, and I'm with you on that. I don't know, but PK, that's something we could talk about. We might have to do a discussion on that. That might be a whole nother subject we can get on, because I'm very curious about that now. And for those who build PCs, you've built many PCs, you've talked about it, so I don't doubt you. Okay, I've built 2 in my life, and this one right here is my baby. Okay,
Can I ask you, what are your specs?
Oh man, I got a spec list, man. Before I even go down, if you look at any of my videos, I have a whole spec list, but I'm running 1050, 1050 Ti super clock. Okay, that's it. I ain't got nothing special.
You're scaring me. How do you?
I ain't got nothing special, man. I know. Look, I'm telling you, I'm not running nothing crazy. I ain't got no 2080s, man. No 1080s. I want a 1080.
You know what you gotta do? You know what you gotta do, Nick?
What's up, man?
When the 3070 launches, which is gonna be in a couple days, go on eBay, buy a 2060 and update your BIOS.
2060. Now, how much you think the 2060s are gonna go for the moment that other GPU drops?
I mean, probably 200 or around that, or not. About 200 because it's equivalent to a 1070 Ti.
Damn, you gonna make me buy a graphics card?
Basically, with ray tracing. So basically, I think what's gonna end up happening is when the 3070s end up getting back into stock to a point where Nvidia can meet supply and demand.
Okay.
The 2060s are going to drop dramatically in price.
Okay. All right, and you're right about that. I've heard that.
That will be so much better.
Oh, man. And look, I'm going to tell you, first of all, this 1050 Ti I've had for years. It's not even something I just bought. I've had it since I got a video up on my YouTube where I actually speak about building my PC.
I've seen it.
That is the same components. I've added some components. I've changed just very few. But I think I got an i7. Okay, that's probably the only thing I maybe changed out, and I got a graphics card on top of it. Got different other components, but other than that, yes.
I say, God damn, update your RAM, like, dude, get
no,
another.
My RAM is updated. I'm gonna just speak on the record. My RAM is updated, sir. That RAM is way updated. Okay, I'm at 64 right now. Okay, so I'm hefty on RAM, but it ain't doing me no justice. I can't even use it all. So what's the point of having it?
At most, use like 32 and sell the rest off.
Hey, my dumb ass went on there and said, you know what? I got the space. Let me go ahead and just put in 64. And why did I do it? It was pointless. Wasted money. Did not need it. Have never even come close to using all of it. But I got it.
Hey, you know what you get to see? When you go into that Windows
Task Manager, oh man, oh I love looking at it, man.
You see those glorious 63.99 gigabytes of RAM.
Oh man, it's beautiful, man. You just see it right there, and you go, oh, look at that. I could do something with that someday, you know. But my man, PK, you definitely dropped some knowledge on me with the computers, man. I'm with you. I need to update. Okay, I need to upgrade, and you just really probably gonna make me upgrade my graphics card. I've already been talking about it, so it's not like you convinced me totally. But I will say, you know, the way you just hurt my heart, okay, you hurt my heart, okay, because I got a 1050. And yes, it's super clocked. I like to say that because I think it makes a difference, because it's You know, it's all I can say. When you ain't got nothing else you can say, you just like, it's super
Nick,
clock.
let me tell you. It makes a difference in your head, and that's what counts. I mean, anyone can do that literally with a button press in an application called MSI Afterburner.
Talk to him. My man. Hey, as always, PK, I love to have you on, man. My young OG, the youngest one on the channel. And I hate to I'm way over time. I said I was going to do 1 hour. I'm damn near 2. But PK, any last words to the people before I let you go, my man?
Sub to Nick Moses 05, like, subscribe, and share the video. And yeah, don't forget to leave a podcast review, get some of those Steam keys.
My man, appreciate you, man. And as always, we gonna be talking. You definitely schooled me, and you gonna make me get a new graphics card, man. I'ma holler at you later.
Hey, hit me up on Discord. You already know.
Oh, I'm hitting you up on Discord. You ain't even gotta worry, man. When I get the graphics card, I'ma come to you.
Hey, you got it.
Oh, man, I missed another call too. My fault, man. I was trying to get it. But my man, PK. Yo, Matthew, I see you. Portable Answers. What up? I see you in the chat. Okay, but he said, just installed SXOS, and I can tell you TX is still going. Talk to him, spicy. Okay, Joshua Drake, what is going on? I got love for PK too, man. Any young cat that can come on the channel and talk to mess with the grown folks, man, I got to give my respect. He not only just talking, he knows what he's talking about, and I can give respect to that at any time. So shout out to you, PK. Shout out to all the callers, man. Y'all all been killing it. Yo, and I told y'all I was supposed to do an hour, right? We now way over, okay? I'm at 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I got to wrap this up, guys, okay? And I see Joe with the TX. Everybody, sing your shout-outs to TX. TX need it right now. They're hurting. The website's been down. Everything's been down. My man, JJ, I ain't even holler at JJ in a minute. You know, I'm sure he's going through the mess right now. Gotta holler at JJ, see what's going on. But other than that, guys, add me to your phone. Send me a PM. Joshua Drake, I see you. Go ahead and, I think I got you on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and do that, though, okay? And this, Joe, we old as hell. We got bedtimes, man, okay? All right, it's your boy, Nick Moses 05. MoFam, appreciate the time, guys. And I am out of here.